You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mama friends. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. So glad you're here as always. My name is Marissa Lonick. I am your host and the founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. And I'm excited this week because I'm talking about organization. I don't know about you, but when I feel like my life is in order, my home is in order, things just sort of feel more in order for me. I feel calmer. I don't have as much anxiety or stress. I just kind of feel like I can flow through my day a lot better. I'm more productive. So this week, we are going to talk about practical, simple, tangible things you can do to get yourself organized each and every week as a working mom. Now, I am recording this episode because some of these things I am religious on how I do and how often I do them and how habitually they are in my life. And some of them I could probably use a good reminder. So this episode is for me just as much as it is for you today. We all fall off the bandwagon sometimes when it comes to organizational habits. So today, again, we are talking about how to get organized each week. I'm going to break this down into 5 actionable steps, 5 simple steps that you can take to organize yourself, your home, your life on a weekly basis as a working mama. If it is safe to do so, I would absolutely recommend jotting some of these things down. But if you are driving or on a walk and you can't do that, that's okay. You can always come back and re-listen to today's episode. So don't stress. Here we go. I'm going to get started right away with tip number 1, which you've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say it again. Meal plan and grocery shop one time for the week. Okay. When I started doing this, I can't even tell you, like, my life changed, right? Because not only do I have a plan for the week, I'm able to really hone in on kind of just doing this dance with all the things that are happening in the household and still feeling like I won at dinner, like still feeling like I'm able to feed everyone healthy, good, homemade dinners, or just things that I feel really good about and intentional that I chose, and not just like scrambling to get the kids to eat something, which, 9 times out of 10, if I don't plan, it's not something I'd really want for them to be eating, or it's like snacks or something like that. So how do I meal plan? We have talked about this before on different episodes, and we even had an entire episode dedicated to additional meal planning tips. So you're going to want to check that one out. But what I do is I take a look at the week's activities and I meal plan around what's happening. So if I know Mondays and Wednesdays, we have several sports in the evenings, I'm going to meal plan accordingly. I'm going to maybe do a dinner that I can easily pop in a slow cooker, or something that I've frozen that I can just put in the oven, or something that just takes a really short, effortless amount of time and still allows us to be able to have dinner together if that's doable and possible. I also meal plan based on what I have in the house, what I decide to grocery shop for that week, because I don't want to be wasteful. And I don't know about you, but I like saving money. Like, I hate when I'm cleaning out the fridge and I'm like throwing away, fruits or vegetables that haven't been eaten because I had all good intention to use them that week, but then I didn't have a plan. I didn't kind of follow through on what I wanted to do with it, or something happened. And guys, of course, this still happens sometimes to me, but the more intentional I am with planning the meals for the week and sticking to the list at the grocery store, the better I am about actually sticking with that and, again, saving money for the week. So that is one way to feel like you are just winning and you are super organized, is meal plan dinners for the week and grocery shop one time, so you're not having to stop at the supermarket, multiple times during the week and waste time and energy doing that. All right. Tip number 2 is about having what I like to call a command center in your home. So on our command center, we put all of our weekly dinners on there. We put all of our weekly activities, any sort of just like important notes that we need to remember throughout the week, things in our schedule, things like that. And trust me, I was resistant to do this at first because I'm an electronic calendar type of person and I like having all of that on my phone. I still do to a certain extent. But the reason why I like this command center thing is because it's not all information that now mom has that no one else has. So I love this because if you've got kids who are old enough to read, they can easily check out the command center. What's for dinner tonight? What's on the schedule this week? What else do I need to know? When's my math test or things like that? And I just love that because not everyone's coming to you as the mom as like the information knowledge center. And it sort of lessens the mental load a little bit, I think. Now, if a command center in your house is not the way to go for you, this may not be the thing that you enjoy or love or want, even having a shared electronic calendar or a shared app where you are not the only person that has access to that. So maybe your spouse has access to that. Maybe even your kids have access to that if they have phones or iPads or whatever. Maybe your caregiver has access to that. What you want to make sure of is that not only are you organized with this information being in this space, but that you are not the hoarder of all the information. That everyone who you do life with, everyone who's in this village with you also has access to this so that they don't have to go to you as a bottleneck for info. So a lot of this stuff you can automate. It's very simple. Ours was a whiteboard. So it's just a quick thing that we do on a, bi-monthly basis. Every 2 weeks, we fill it in. But it is a great, great tool of having this sort of command center or, shared electronic calendar or app. Alrighty. Tip number 3 on how to get organized each week. And this may come as a little bit of a shocker to you, but I actually think this helps a lot with my organization, is actually scheduling in daily self-care. Now, it may not seem like a way to be organized per se, but honestly, if it's not scheduled for me, especially something like self-care, it likely doesn't happen in my life. And I don't know about you, but when I don't feel like I'm taking care of myself, when I don't feel like my cup is full, when I don't feel like I've gotten enough sleep or I'm eating enough healthy, good foods, or I'm exercising, or, fill in the blank, whatever self-care looks like to you, your nails are done, whatever it is, I'm not my best self. I'm not my best self. So I show up with less patience. I show up with less just, motivation, energy. I show up less positive. I'm not able to be the wife, the mom, the business owner, the employee, fill in the blank, whatever hat you're wearing as a working mom, that I strive to be. And self-care is usually the first thing to fall off the to-do list if you're juggling a lot of things, if you're wearing a lot of hats. And working moms, we are wearing a lot of hats. And so the simple act of scheduling this in goes a long way. Now, self-care is going to look different to different people, but it's also going to look different to you. on different days of the week, at different times of day. It just depends, right? Like some days for me, it's X, and other days it's Y. And, even at 8 a.m., it's one thing versus 8 p.m., it's something else. But if you have like something super simple, like a daily block in your calendar or a daily reminder on your phone or something that's going to hold you accountable to actually follow through and get it done, this is going to keep you organized and ensure that this is something that gets checked off, that gets done every day, and that keeps your cup full and you showing up as the best version of you, the most organized version of you, the happiest version of you, the most fulfilled version of you, fill in the blank. So schedule in daily self-care. If this is something that's like really foreign to you right now, I would say put a 15-minute block on your calendar, reoccurring event every single day, and then just fill those 15 minutes with something that is going to fill your cup in that moment. And that's it. All right. Tip number 4, to get organized each week. I feel like we should do a recap or a tip number 4. Let's go back and recap 1, 2, 3 before we get to tip number 4, because if you're listening and you're not jotting things down, you may have already forgotten. So tip number 1 was all about meal planning and grocery shopping for the week. Remember, plan around your activities, grocery shop one time for the week based on that meal plan list. Tip number 2, have a command center in your home where you are not the only hoarder of the information. So whether that be a physical command center, a whiteboard, a wall hanging calendar, something where everyone can see, or a shared electronic calendar or app, something where other people in your village, other people in your household have access to see what's happening, what activities are happening, what's for dinner, all the things they need to know. Tip number 3 is about scheduling self-care. Make sure this is happening. It's very easy to fall off the list of priorities. If you're scheduling this in, you are going to be much more accountable to actually getting it done and showing up as your best self. All right, we're moving on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is about picking out outfits each day for you and or your kids. Okay? It is about making decisions the night before, or if you're really good, the week ahead. Now, you could do this with outfits. That's one that comes to mind for me. You can also do it with like packing lunches, packing snacks the night before. Everything's laid out, ready to go the next day. All you got to do is like put the lunch box in the bag, fill the water bottle and go. I do not do this a week in advance, but I do my best to do this the night before for a number of reasons. Number 1, we have early mornings in this house. And if you have early mornings too, future you in the morning appreciates what night before you did the day before, right? You feel so much more organized, like your day has such a better start when all these things are done and you've made this as simple can be morning of, especially if you have early mornings. But also, there's another reason why I like doing this the night before. And it's not only because of the early mornings and setting yourself up for success, it has to do with decision fatigue. Now, you've probably heard this term before. We make thousands of decisions every single day. And if you're a mom, you are making that probably times 2, 3, 4, depending how many kids you have. And so when I wake up, I want to start my day on a really positive note, right? And I don't want to be bombarded with hundreds of decisions before I've even had a cup of coffee, before I've even said good morning to anyone, before I have even really opened my eyes. Like, I don't want to be plagued with the stress of all of these decisions. And so if I can make those decisions the night before, what everyone's wearing the next day, what I'm wearing the next day, what is going in the lunch boxes, what snacks, I don't know. Think about all the things you're making decisions of in the morning, right? What's everyone eating for breakfast? All of those things. The more you can do this the night before, or if you're really good, a week out. I've seen these like TikTok moms out there who have one of those hanging things on the door with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the outfits are folded nicely, put in there socks, underwear, shoes, all the things for each day of the week. Guys, I'm not that good, but if that is you, more power to you. That is amazing. And think about the immense load off of pressure that comes with having all of this stuff set for the week for your kids or even for you. So do what you can to make these decisions to set yourself up for success, either night before, week before, whatever that looks like to you. All right, we are coming up on our final tip here, tip number 5. This tip is called do a home reset. Do a home reset. What does that mean? Well, it means put the clutter away. It means fold and put away the laundry that's piled up. I don't know about you, but in my house, I'm okay with actually washing the laundry, drying the laundry. I'm not always on my game with folding it and putting it away. Or sometimes I fold, but it doesn't get put away, right? I don't know. It's a mental block, something. I need a better system for this, right? I told you I needed these tips sometimes just as much as you do. And so, but the weeks that I'm able to do this sort of reset, on a Sunday night, when I know all the laundry's clean, folded, and put away, when I know the clutter is put away, when I know the counters are clear of papers and extra things that don't belong there, I wake up and start my week so refreshed. And I bet you do too. So if you have the ability to do so, do a home reset. If that feels way too daunting for you, because you are miles away from that right now in your home, that's okay. Try to do just one area of your home, just one. Maybe it's the one that bothers you the most. Maybe it's the one you see first thing in the morning, whatever's going to make a massive impact for you. If you can organize that one space, and then the next week, maybe it's a different space, and the next week it's a different space. Maybe this takes you a couple months, but then you finally get there. That's okay. So what comes to mind for me, if it were daunting to do a whole home reset, and you guys, I'm not talking about a deep clean here either. I'm talking about put on a couple songs and very fast, clear the clutter, put things away, make it look nice. So you feel okay, my house is in order. My head feels in order. I feel organized. Let's go. Let's kill it this week. So again, if the whole home reset feels daunting, do one area, do your fridge or do your pantry or even one drawer in your kitchen or in your kids' room or in your room that just gives you grief during the week. One organized area or a quick home reset. So that is that, mom friends. Those are my 5 tips to get organized each week. I know there are plenty more. I know you probably have plenty more. Those are some that I try to strive to do here in my house. Some of them, religious habits that I do on the regular. Some of them, I needed this reminder, maybe like you did. So hopefully you found that helpful. I hope you take action and implement 1, 2, 3, maybe even all 5 of our tips this week. As always, if you found this episode to be helpful, please feel free to share it with a friend. Please leave us a review. Reviews help this podcast grow. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep on working it, mama. Bye. You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.